Welcome guys, another live video. Thanks for joining us. Again, some more frequently asked questions we have for you today. Two important questions, something that I love to discuss is food. So the first question we'll discuss is food. And again, we're just giving you some healthy food options. These are just basic, well-rounded meals that you perhaps could use. And hopefully some of these tips might help you with your journey, I suppose. So look, here it is. Two questions today. What are the best brekkie options? So we're going to give you five from various team members, what they prefer to do and perhaps why. And we also are going to discuss second question, what do I do if I only have 30 minutes or less? So let's get into it. First question, what are the best breakfast options? Firstly, there is many different ideas that you can have with brekkie. Something that we've discussed in past episodes is fasting. So option number one, we can look at utilizing a juice, for example, and having juices as our start to the day. A NutriBullet, just checking over what we're using at the moment, a NutriBullet I've found to be really, really powerful, a little bit better than its partner, which is something like a Ninja. But I find that this one has been very, very good for us. So the NutriBullet is a great way to get jam-pack some valuable nutrients into the body upon rising. There's two times, guys, you've heard me discuss this before, when it's super important to get nutrients in. That's one, after a fast. And obviously, if you've been sleeping, waking up in the morning, you want to bang in some good quality nutrients and start your day off right. And two, after training, when your body's just going to suck them into the muscles and help you recover. So first thing we're going to go with is a juice. Check out our Ultimate Body Blitz. On there we discussed the mean green juice, but there are so many different options. You can go a breakfast smoothie. So let's give you an idea there. Or perhaps, you know, you're training early in the morning, or let's say you're training at 6:30 and you want to get up and you like your coffee. So you might put a tablespoon of coconut oil, some blueberries, a little bit of spinach, some ice, a couple of shots of coffee and some water, and make your own like ice frappe first thing in the morning with a shot of protein as well. That's going to have healthy fats, nutrients, coffee, the coconut oil, everything's going to give you a good zing and allow you to train. And it's going to clear the system pretty quickly. So another question, and this is just on a byproduct often, is how long before exercise should I eat, or how close to exercise? Generally, rule of thumb, guys, is you don't want to eat for a good couple of hours before training. You want your fuel light to be somewhat on the lower side. So you want to be somewhat hungry. You don't want to be, exercising, jumping about with food still getting digested in the system. So that can be quite helpful. So keep that in mind. That's another idea. So again, number two, let's go with that. We've discussed the fasting and we've discussed juicing quite a lot in recent videos. And today just gave you something that you could use perhaps at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning if you were to get up earlier. It is a good idea, guys, to always kickstart your metabolism. So a protein, coffee-style protein smoothie for breakfast is a great option if you're exercising early. It's going to give you everything you need. Definitely look into that one with much success. I've had many persons do very well and have that at, say, 5:15 for their 6 o'clock workout. And again, that's quite close to your workout. Again, 60, 90 minutes would be better if you're eating solids. Coming on to exercise number two, or breakfast option number two, would be using eggs. So let's say we're going to have scrambled eggs as my personal favorite. The smoothie option was my wife Christy's. It's her favorite breakfast option. Mine personally is scrambled eggs. If you're going to have something a bit more wholesome like that, then yeah, give yourself a good couple of hours before you exercise. But scrambled eggs, it's so simple, guys. In a pan would go some onion or spring onion, some mushroom, a little bit of organic Paris Creek butter or olive oil at that point. Let that cook down for a couple of minutes. Then I would get a tomato grated in the pan. With that, I'll then whack in some spinach and some parsley, scramble up 3 eggs and mix it through, salt, pepper. Absolutely perfect. Great place to start. Really healthy, wholesome, great start to your day, really good for midday snacks. And it will keep you full for quite some time. You can bulk that up a little bit. Yes, you could add in some leftover chicken or leftover steak, a little bit extra meat if you would like, and perhaps drop a little bit of an egg. That's an option as well. So scrambled eggs, number 2. Number 3, let's go with Anthony's favorite. Anthony loves his meat and nuts breakfast. So you haven't looked into where we like starting our day off with good quality proteins and fats. And what happens is this here is going to set you up for the day. So it really helps you release dopamine in having those meals. And dopamine's going to, basically, it's the neurotransmitter that makes you be alert and help you be less, I suppose, fuzzy. So a little bit more on the ball. And a little bit less jittery like you might feel after having a sugary breakfast. So it's going to be a more stable ride throughout the morning, allowing you to focus, increase intention. There's much science about that. So eating meat for breakfast, you could look that up. Just simply look up meat and nut breakfast on the Ultimate Body Blitz site that we have for all of our members. We share that with you, and there's lots of options there. So let's go with, I believe Anthony's favorite at the moment is often like just a beef style patty, for example, for breaky. My wife Christy would often discuss and have turkey patties with a little bit of avocado because there's not much fat in the turkey. The turkey patties are really simple. Again, we have them online for you. Just check them out on the Ultimate Body Blitz. It's all there for you. Making up a turkey patty, again, with some zucchini, onion, carrot in the mix. Really, really simple. Maybe a quarter of an avocado and an egg. That is a great place to start. You can make it ahead of time, guys. So you can cook up your turkey patties. You can have some hard-boiled eggs, a little bit of avocado, and away you go. Personally, I would have 2 turkey patties and about half an avocado and some cashews. In that meal, I would have a cashew or a walnut rather than an almond, something to give me a little bit more fat. And that would be my breakfast starting early on a Thursday morning. And I would save my eggs for when I prefer to have them, which is straight after training, because they are the best possible protein you can have after training is eggs because of leucine. Leucine is the protein that makes you build muscle and repair. So keep that in mind, guys. The more total quality protein and the higher the leucine content, the better after training if you're wanting to put on muscle, and who doesn't want that to help rev up our metabolism. So there's some really simple things, guys. So there are 3 favorite options. Next, number 4 will be Jamie's. Jamie's preferred option is an omelette. So similar to the scrambled eggs, making an omelette, really, really simple, easy and effective. At other times, a couple of poached eggs with some the eye of a bacon. Make sure if you're ever having bacon, again, guys, you might argue this from a health value, but when we're talking about macronutrients, which is the quality of the proteins, fats, and carbohydrates, bacon can definitely fit into your macros. And that is, so having a quality bacon, which means grass-fed, get it from a quality butcher. So you would have bacon, some poached eggs, and some asparagus. Goes great for breakfast. Really, really simple. And you can even make a really simple, healthy Eggs Benedict, making a healthy holiday sauce as well. There are some options, again, on the Ultimate Body Blitz. We have this for you. And finally, guys, because I know some of you love it, oats. Oats are a great source of carbohydrate. It is a lower GI, meaning you have a sustained energy release. But I'll put it to you here, guys, this is better to be done after a high-intense training day. So if you are going to have oats, let's say for those that are looking at weight management, if you're exercising at high intensity in the morning, then my suggestion is that is the day after training you would have your oats, and give that around about an hour and bump it up with a little bit of protein. So again, hard-boiled egg or even just some protein powder. That will be really helpful. The other thing is you can use like a quinoa and chia or a chia pudding or a quinoa style muesli, and that is going to be, to me, a little bit higher in protein, really good fiber. The chia is going to add in some fat, and that is even a better approach, probably, or argued, than going with your steel cut oats. Again, with the oats, guys, number 1, steel cuts, not your quick instant oats. Let your body do the digesting. So there's 5 of our team's favorite ways to go. Again, if you're jumping online, guys, welcome along. Please, if any of this is beneficial to you, give us a thumbs up, give us a like, share it. We would love to hear a little bit more. And if it's good, if it's helpful, then please let us know. So there's the 5. If you missed those, jump back in. I'm going to get on to question 2. What do I do if I only have 30 minutes or less? Well, the first thing is show up. Show up and do something. Trust me, just by getting in, it takes a couple of minutes to get into a power pose. A power pose is pretty much any position that we do in training because your chest is lifted, you're opening your body up, you're feeling good. So from a feel good, stress release point of view, anything in that time. But if you want to get a result, we've got to discuss HIIT. High intensity interval training. This is where we need to make sure that we have some rest intervals so that we can repeat those higher intense efforts rather than going out and doing a 20-minute run, which is going to be great by the way. We would perhaps be running, let's say, a 20-minute run at 12 k's an hour where we could be doing a minute on intervals or 30 on intervals and 30 off at 15 k's an hour with even a little bit of an incline. That's going to get your body working a little bit harder in that 20 minutes, and you might only get 10 to 15 sets, not accruing the total amount of minutes as you would with a 20-minute run, but working at a higher intensity. And there's one thing in 20 to 30 minutes that will be very important, and that is the intensity part. I heard this from a very smart man and coach many years ago, and it is intensity will always trump volume. So working at a higher intense level is always going to get you fitter, fast, and get you to your place quicker than working at a lower intense volume. But again, that's not for everybody, but it definitely will yield a great result. So in 30 minutes, here's 3 ideas for you. Let's do exactly that. Let's pick an exercise that you like to do, or maybe you like variety. So you might go rower for 8 minutes, a minute on, a minute off, or 30 on, 30 off. Then you might switch it up, jump over to the stepper and do the same thing, 30 on, 30 off. That means 30 seconds working hard, 30 seconds just cycling over. And then maybe jump on the bike and do the same thing for your remainder of time. Personally, by breaking up to 3 different areas from a fitness perspective, it keeps it quite interesting. And then you can break it down to bite-sized chunks. So you think instead of 30 minutes of high work, you think if I can get through this 8, then I can get through this next little bit, and then, hey, I'm already done those 2. I just got to finish off on the bike or finish off with something that you really enjoy. If you're working at that point. So there's just a little trick to get in 25 minutes and break it up into 3 different intervals, something that works. Of course, the next thing you could do is load up the sled or do some boxing. Again, same sort of thing, 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off is another protocol known as Tabata. You do that at 8 times, so that's 4 minutes. And then rest for a minute to 2 minutes. It's 2 minutes if you're working quite hard, and just do that 4 times. So here's another protocol for you, which is a really well-known one. It's called Tabata, T-A-B-A-T-A, and that is a really good style of training. 20 on, 10 off for 8 sets with a 2-minute rest. Okay, so give that a shot. Welcome along, guys. So give that one a go. Great way to work with sprint training, and it's actually been shown, and this is the thing, because a lot of people ask, the little method was doing 60 minutes of high intense exercise a week, and that was shown and proven to actually get as good a result as doing over 5 hours of steady state heart rate work running. So that's pretty impressive. There's quite a lot of information out there showing that if you do 3 20-minute higher intense sessions, that is better than doing 5 to 6 hours of work, guys. So in 20 minutes, that goes a long way. So there's a couple of different options for you. You can look up, again, Tabata, 30 on, 30 off, the little method, and breaking it up at any time. Just a couple of ideas for you. Finally, in 30 minutes, strength training. If you don't have a lot of time, then look, strength training. What do you do in that time? You pick a couple of big exercises and you go for it. I shared this on our past video. For example, we're going to do a leg press and a lat pull down. You're going to have about 30 seconds rest. Do 12 reps of one, rest, do 12 of the other. Don't stop. You basically have 45 seconds in between those sets, whatever time needed, and you've got to be working. So this isn't a fluffy weight. This is a weight that you can do for 10 to 12 reps, and subsequent sets, you might actually go from 12 to 11, and then in the last set, you might only get 10 or 9. It is a great way your body will be really, really working. Okay, and yeah, no, I'm not sure about that, mate. West End draft cans with herring on toast, not probably the best breakfast, buddy, but, you know, all on occasion. Thanks for that, Lockie. The next thing is with strength training, you would then pick another exercise like a lower body pull. Let's go with a leg curl and a push-up. Now, that's going to take you about 20 to 25 minutes. Do 4 to 5 sets of the first exercise. Do 3 to 4 sets of the second exercise. If you were to do 5 sets of the first and 4 sets of the second round of exercises, that's going to take you about 40 minutes. So the point is, if you've got 30 minutes, just bring it back a little bit. Do what you can. Go 15 minutes of one, and then go 10 minutes of the other. Give yourself a couple of minutes to warm up in those exercises. And again, picking those bigger exercises. For example, if you're doing a split squat into a lat pull down, then you're going to get great movement. It's going to be mobilizing the body. The first set, you're warming into it. It's not massive intensity. The first set should be doable, and that's going to make a huge difference. So there it is, guys, 30 minutes or less. You've got some options with your fitness training if you're coming in to do fitness work. But if you're doing that every day, guys, no, you definitely do some strength work. So alternate between those two. If you were to do your Tabata fitness work on one day and the next day you were going to do your strength work in that sort of format, that's going to go a long way. Then have a day's rest, do some gardening, do a body balance class, jump in, yoga, do some restoration work, and then repeat it again. These are really simple ways to get work. Hey, one question you got to remember, what do I do if I only have 30 minutes or less? All of our training at our club is 30 minutes. Why? Because in 30 minutes, we will get your results. And that's the point. If we're doing it and we practice it, then it's a great way for you to look at your own training, obviously. And if you want to know more, ask us more about it. Again, if that was helpful, guys, please thumbs up, like, post any questions. If you've got any more, then please, I've put out a good, I don't know, 6, 7 past videos. You can jump them on our website and check them out there. And there's many questions answered there regarding carbs, what type of training, when, how much should I do, where should I start. That's the idea of this. So I hope that helped you today, guys. Some of our favorite brekkies, some variations with breakfast, give you all of the options there. And training in 30 minutes is a big thumbs up. Guys, love having you along. Make it happen. Have a great day.